where you've been very uncomfortable? A number of years back, a group of friends and I went down on this camping trip. This is the first time that I've gone camping. So anyway, we go down, this like river area that we're gonna go to, and so we get there, and of course we get there late. And when we get there, we realize how unprepared we were, and we realize no one has a light or a flashlight or anything. So we get there, and we're all tired, and we're hungry, and we're trying to pitch our tents. It is pitch dark and black, and we're trying to get our tents up, and we're tired, and we don't really know what we're doing because none of us are really campers or anything. So and of course it begins to rain, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So eventually we get the tent up, and of course we forget to put the tarp at the bottom, we didn't put the tarp at the bottom. So we're spending our night there, and this is supposed to be a night that is supposed to be a lot of fun, and we're going out with friends and just gonna camp all night and just hang out, and why not? And we're all there, we're all miserable, we're all angry at each other, we're all frustrated, we're all wet, we're all tired, we're all cold, we're all hungry, and it just. And I remember, laying in that bed, laying in that floor of that tent, thinking, man, like, what are we doing here? Like, I have a warm, comfortable bed somewhere, and I'm here being miserable. And comfort is an interesting thing, isn't it? I feel that comfort is a word that we use a lot. It's a concept that we kind of use a lot, and in our daily lives, and when we talk, and we use phrases as like comfort food or my comfort zone, and really comfort means just a state in which you are okay with it, a place in which things are moving the way in which you like them to move, or things are happening the way in which you like them to happen. And I've been thinking about comfort and discomfort. The truth is that in this time we've been thrust upon a very, very uncomfortable situation, with the changes that are going on in our lives, with the different news that we're hearing, and our lives have really been thrown around in different ways, and I feel that can cause a lot of discomfort. Our sense of safety is being threatened, of sense of security. Our anxiety levels are going up, and as I was thinking about that, I kind of came to me this idea that is really through these times of discomfort that we grow, that we learn, that we evolve, that we change that we change. Because discomfort teaches us, this comfort shows us that all the control that we thought that we had on things is an illusion. Discomfort or situations in which we're uncomfortable kind of shows us that all the things that we thought we have built so precisely that we could control about our lives are simply an illusion. They're simply not real. And through this time of discomfort, to this time of test, if you will, I think that we are collectively discovering that, not only us, but around the world, we're collectively discovering that all this system that we have built, that we thought that we had the control of, we never did. That's something that it was something that we told ourselves and that we believed ourselves. And now as we see this systems and these things that we have put in place, and the way in which we thought we control our world and our lives, that are not real, then we start to see. I feel that there's two different ways in which you can react to this. And I think for us as a church, because what I've been trying to do is I'm trying to think, well, there has to be a lesson here in the midst of all this chaos. There has to be a lesson here, right? And I think for us as a church, as believers, as followers of Christ, that lesson might be that maybe we were having this outcome based faith, and this is something that we've talked about in SCC before. This idea of an outcome based faith. And I think this kind of tendency of having a faith based on outcomes, it becomes a lot more evident sometimes in the ways in which we pray. Because prayer usually, with the way the prayer goes, is that we pray so that we can ask God to act in a certain way, and then we expect a certain outcome out of it. And I can't tell you how many conversations I've had of people that have been praying, expecting some kind of outcome, and that outcome, seems to get delayed or not happen, or God answers in a different way, and their faith begins to shake and kind of fall. And I think that's those are ways in which this idea of comfortable faith, faith that we can control, faith that we know the outcome of, kind of rears its head in our lives. And I think we're in these times now, in which we all have made collectively uncomfortable, in which those illusions of control have started to fall in our lives, in that we realize that really our faith is not about outcome. Our faith is about a perspective in life. The book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 14, Paul has this kind of quote, this kind of poem that he quotes here, that I want to share with you today. And again, it's Ephesians chapter 5, and Paul tells us, "Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead." And it's an interesting connection that Paul makes here between sleeping and being dead, because sleeping, happens. Sleeping is a place of comfort. While we're sleeping, when we're fast asleep, when we're sound asleep, that's probably one of the times in which more comfortable in our lives. When you're laying in bed, and it might be raining some outside, but you're in bed and you're warm and you're comfortable, and you have that sleepy sensation. And I wonder if Paul, that's what it's kind of telling us. Wake up, you that have been comfortable. You've been so comfortable that you have become, your life has kind of gone away. Because see, as we experience these times of uncomfort, and our sense of security and control begins to shatter and fall around us and around everyone else, questions are naturally going to start coming. And questions that I keep hearing time and time again is why are these things happening? And I don't have an answer for that. What I can tell you is that this was not the intent. Imagine that you go watch, to go see like an art, like a painting or something, some kind of a art piece, and and you're going to go see this art piece, whatever it is, and the day before someone goes and graffitis in it and throws paint or why not, and you get there and you realize, well, this is not the painting I came to see, and you kind of start becoming disappointed. And then someone comes along and tells you, no, what happens is that someone broke in yesterday, and they defaced the painting, they threw graffiti on it, they sprayed paint on it, threw paint on it. So this is not what the artist intended it to be. And then you start to understand that it's not the artist's fault that you're disappointed. It's someone else's fault. And I think maybe that's the best answer I can come up with, as people start wondering, they see their sense of safety and comfort and control kind of falling down, and they start asking questions, why do these things happen? I think the best answer that we can come up with is I don't know what things happen, but I can tell you this was not the intent of the artist. This was not the intent of God the Creator. That ultimately these situations arise because we live in a fallen and broken world. So Paul tells us, wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and the light of Christ will shine on you. And maybe that's the best that we can be now. Maybe that's the best that we can do now. That we don't necessarily need to have answers. We don't necessarily need to have it all figured out. But what we can do is, in the midst of this uncomfortness, the midst of this trial, of this test, to wake up, so that the light of Christ can shine on us and through us to those around us. As people see their sense of comfort and the sense of safety and control for what they are, for smoke and mirrors, for an illusion, if they see the system that they control kind of coming to a stop, we can be that light that's pointing to Christ and say, you know what, this will go pass, and I believe this is going to pass. This will go through, and on the other side, when we're on this other side, we can understand that this wasn't the intent of the Creator, and I think that's our call now, as a church, as Christians, as believers, is to wake up and to let the light of Christ shine on us, so that others can see that same light as well.